morning, beautiful. It's Joe again, and today it is time to talk about alternate day fasting week 15, which had a lot happening. Not because of the fasting, but because of my fur baby emergency, which he's my love. He has to be okay. He was not okay. There was a drive to town, which is about 2.5 hours away. A friend took me. What I thought for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, was an ear infection was not an ear infection. Exactly. Somebody's feeling puny. He's had what I thought was just another little ear infection for about a week, and I've been giving him eardrops, and he just got more and more lethargic, and I've been giving him baby aspirin, which does help him. But then last night I discovered he had a big lump on his neck. I don't know if it's a swollen lymph node or what, but we are going to the vets in just a couple of hours. Look at your pitiful baby. I hope you'll be okay. I love you, my baby. Okay, so here's where we're at. My fur baby is sick as a dog, as they say, and I'm semi-freaking out. A friend drove me to town, which is like 2.5 hours away because I live in the middle of nowhere, to get me to the vets, and Gizmo's got a lot of swelling on the side of his neck. I just discovered it last night, which was the worst day I could. It was my mom's death day anniversary, and I was already not in a happy place, and Gizmo's been feeling yucky for a week, so I really have been nursing him and watching him and wondering what's going on. It's not just an ear infection if it's not getting better by now. And then I was rubbing him and I realized he was swollen, and then I'm like, holy God, you're very swollen. I've been leaving this area alone because I thought it was an ear infection and I didn't want to hurt him. So I didn't even realize. I don't even know how long it's been swollen like that. But I got him some more baby aspirin in the night, and then this morning I got a hold of the vets, and they said come on in when you can, and I did. And a friend brought me to town once again, like I said, 2.5 hour drive. On that drive, Gizmo started making a funky little coughing sound, and his neck started swelling here now, and like started impeding his airway. Now I'm really freaking out, and I get him to the vets. The vet comes out to the car to see him because we are in the pandemic, and so he came out to look at him, took his temperature. He's got 104 fever. He was swelling right here. This here was an abscess, he said, which could be caused from the infection, from the ear infection, but also could just be, he could have gotten bitten by something like a spider or a bee, and he took him in to drain it and give him antibiotics, and I get to come back in 3 hours. He's feeling better than he was, but he's still not great. And I had to give him a little half bath this morning because, his opened abscessy spot was like oozing all over himself and everything else last night. It does look a little bit better right now just because I washed him a little bit, but it gets ooze, and I'm trying to control the ooze, and he ate pretty good last night. Time for another warm compress. He's like, what have you done to me? Mama, why you got this thing on me, huh? I don't know why this thing's on my neck. Why? Why is this thing on my neck? Oh, yeah. Oh, but he looks more like my dog again. Not so terrible and weak. He was incredibly energetic given how he had been, though, and has been on the mend ever since. The abscess continually drained for about 2.5 more days. There's still a good little lump there where it's still healing, but it's scabbing and closing, and I've been doing the warm compresses, and he's getting energetic, and he's back to being himself, so he doesn't feel bad, and he's still on antibiotics, and he's getting better. while we were in town waiting for that 3 hours, I did go ahead and eat, even though it was meant to be a fast day, because those are just times where I was under too much stress to be fasting. And honestly, a few days earlier, I had had my extended fast and told myself I was going to have 2 food days after, and then wound up changing that so that my food day landed on a different day. So, to my mind, I was rather owed a food day anyway. And while I did eat fast food, chicken sandwich, stuff like that, it wasn't massive, it wasn't terrible, and I eat relatively sensibly the rest of the day. So I still tried to control my food day, even though it was switched around. So he's on the mend. We're getting better. Secondly, I have been having my new Fitbit Versa 2, and it was the solid original band they come with, and on this side where the band was most solid, I just got super, super irritated. I'm assuming from sweat and or hand or face washing, moisture getting in there, and me not getting it dry enough. So I had to switch wrist for a few days while that started healing, and then I ordered some new bands that are these sport bands that breathe a little bit more, and I just got this a couple of days ago, and so far so good on that. So if you don't dislike the way they look, I'm definitely digging the sports band. So lots more breathability. And finally, I got my new electrolyte pills, because the apple cider vinegar just doesn't work for me. I cannot drink that. I was mixing the electrolytes, like the sea salt and the potassium supplement with the cream of tartar, into the apple cider vinegar to get the max benefits, but it is just revolting to me. It is not within my palate. I don't eat vinegary things. I barely touch pickles. I'm about to have a seizure trying to eat a dill pickle. So this was not working for me. I'm much more likely to put something with my morning vitamin pack and take a pill. I still waver back and forth about which pills might break my fast and which ones won't, and I just have to make a decision and commit to it. And every time I think I've done that, I start backtracking and say, maybe I won't take those ones and I'll just take this. But I have added salt stick caps. So this has sodium, it has the magnesium, it has potassium, it has chloride, all the important electrolytes that need to keep your body hydrated properly, especially when you're drinking as much water as people drink fasting. There are 100 capsules in this bottle, and I can take one, but if I'm like working out heavily or it's psycho hot outside and I'm sweating like a pig, I can take more. I can take up to 10 of these a day. I've really only been taking one. First off, I'm not a big sweater, so that's less of an issue. I have, because of Gizmo's issue, not been working out as much as I normally prefer to. I have not walked in almost a week. I meant to get up and walk this morning, and I was just sleepy and didn't want to, and I've got out of my habit, and I'm going to have to get right with myself in a whole nother way now, because it isn't about the solstice. It isn't about the longer days. I could have got up, but I've slept that extra hour so many days now that it's getting harder to get up. So I have had my yoga. I have walked him some, but he wasn't even getting a fraction of his morning walks because he felt so poorly. And then I had to make a homemade little harness for him because we use a collar, and the wound is right where his collar sits. So I had to rig up a little temporary medical harness to get him his walks, and even then he didn't particularly want to go very far for a while. Okay. So this is a dog harness of a friend of mine's, my neighbor over here. And I am going to use it as a base pattern to try to turn this elastic into a temporary harness for Giz, because with where the wound is, he cannot wear his regular collar, and he's still looking to get walks. I mean, he kept trying to get me to walk him, and I strung this string around him and like around his legs and torso a little bit, enough to get him around the block, but he kept wanting to go further, and I did not feel confident with that going further. So we have a little project today. Almost far along for a test run when he wakes up. He's having a nap right now. Oh, I'm a pitiful baby, yes. Oh, the baby. But this is his homemade medicinal harness. We'll see how it goes. But we're starting to get back into our normal life now, and these are going to be a part of it. So far, so good. It's a more expensive way to go about it than just drinking the supplements or taking some water with some salt in it. But it may be more expensive, but it's just a little bit more within my wheelhouse. It is one more week until my weigh-in and my next body measurements. I did do early body measurements at the 100-day mark. I honestly do not think I'm going to see much of a weight scale difference this time. I might even have gained some. But I also may be starting from scratch with my numbers, because anybody who's watched my previous videos does know that getting any of the scales I get near to say even remotely similar numbers has been a challenge, whether it's at the clinic, the wellness center, or either of the scales I have at home. They can range anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds different. I don't know what number is real. So a few days ago, I ordered a Wi-Fi scale, which I am hoping will resolve all these issues. That does rather mean when I get it and get it set up, and it's going to communicate to my Fitness Pal and report my numbers in regularly, I will probably be starting my numbers sort of from scratch. Since I wasn't on this scale, I may compare that number to any of the other scales to see if I can come up with a level of how close I am to reality. This is so frustrating to not be able to get a consistent number. This scale bounces all over the place. I've never believed that scale. This scale says one thing and that scale says 20 pounds more. WTF. I don't know. All I can say is that I'm still losing inches. I'm still losing bloat. And I have to remember that's more important. But I like to track and log things, so it's frustrating to not have accurate information. So that scale should arrive hopefully tomorrow. UPS, we'll see. They say approximate date, but I have had 0 updates. But it also was 4th of July holiday weekend, so less updates are available sometimes just because of that reason anyway. So that's my new stuff. My sicky fur baby, drama around the house, new electrolyte supplements, new wristband, new scale coming. There's a lot going on. Now I just have to get right with my workouts. But beyond having that extra food day when I hadn't actually intended to, I got right back on track the next day, and I've actually also been doing a lot more communicating within fasting groups on Facebook, and it sounds like I can do rolling 72-hour fasts. At my level of overweight, I am still considered obese. But at my level of overweight, I guess I can just do rolling 72s as often as I want, which means I may start rolling 72s into my alternate day weekly even. I'm debating about whether to roll into one today I'm in a fast day now, so I guess that would mean roll in tomorrow, because decision whether I eat tomorrow or not. It's just been an adventuresome week. But my fur baby is the most important thing, and I love my baby. And it was my mom's anniversary, so this all rolled right on top of that. So it was just a mess. I don't like drama. I like to be just chill. Now, things are back to normal now. We're going to go that way. We're going to keep our positive mental attitude. You have a beautiful day, okay? Don't forget, if you want to keep updating and seeing what's happening, feel free to subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when I post something new. And I will see you next time. Hello, beautiful. It's Joe again. And this has been quite a week. So we're looking at week 15.